Greetings, this is Rick Elder for Bay Mills Community College, and in this presentation I'm going to talk to you about the United States Constitution. I work at Bay Mills Community College and I teach American government here at the college. I hope you find this presentation enjoyable. How did the need for the United States Constitution come about? The French and Indian War from 1754 to 1763, also known as the 7 Years' War, and Great Britain won that war. Great Britain ran up a huge national debt to win this war. Britain wanted to pay down this debt, and who was going to pay this debt? The American colonies were going to be taxed to pay off the cost of the French and Indian War. After all, in Britain's point of view, the American colonies were the benefactors of Britain's victory. Thus, no more French to worry about. Thus, the colonies should foot the bill, not the citizens living in England. The American colonists did not see it this way. They felt that by supplying a lot of the manpower to fight this war, they had already paid. The War for Independence was a result of all of this that I just mentioned, and once America won the War for Independence, they had to plan out a frame of government. The first frame of government was known as the Articles of Confederation, and they were a failure. Thus, the current United States Constitution came to be. Here are a few constitutional quick facts for everyone. The Constitution was ratified on June 21st, 1789. The ninth state to vote to ratify it was New Hampshire. The last state to ratify was Rhode Island. The first federal election took place from December 15th, 1788 through January 7th, 1789. The first meeting of the Electoral College was on February 4th, 1789. March 4, 1789 is when our current government went into effect. There is no legal method for any state to exit the Union once they have joined it, and there have only been 27 amendments to the Constitution. The last one was ratified on May 7, 1992. The Constitution has been in effect now for slightly over 235 years. In 1787, delegates gathered in Philadelphia to address the weaknesses of the Articles of Confederation. The convention took place from May 25 through September 17, 1787, featuring discussions on fundamental aspects of government. The secrecy of the convention's debates paved the way for open discussions and compromise. The Articles of Confederation, the nation's first constitution, led to a weak central government unable to address crucial issues. Shays' Rebellion in 1786 highlighted the urgency of strengthening federal authority and maintaining order. The convention aimed to strike a balance between federal power and states' rights, a challenging task in itself. George Washington, who was revered for his leadership during the Revolutionary War, presided over the convention. James Madison, often called the father of the Constitution, played a key role in drafting the Constitution. Benjamin Franklin, a respected elder statesman, provided wisdom and experience to guide the discussions. There were 55 male delegates at the convention. Some of the goals of the convention are as follows. The primary goal was to replace or amend the Articles of Confederation to create a more effective national government. Delegates sought to establish a system that prevented tyranny while ensuring the government's ability to act decisively. The convention aimed to create a government that protected individual rights and preserved state sovereignty. There were two plans for the Constitution that were proposed at the convention. The first one was the Virginia Plan. Most of the Virginia Plan is what we have in our government today. It was proposed by Edmund Randolph. The Virginia Plan called for a strong central government with three branches, legislative, executive, and judicial. The plan emphasized proportional representation benefiting larger states like Virginia. This approach caused concerns from smaller states, fearing their voices would be overshadowed. The New Jersey Plan was proposed by William Paterson of New Jersey, and he proposed a unicameral legislature, with each state equally represented to protect smaller states' interests. This plan aimed to amend the Articles of Confederation rather than replacing them entirely. Supporters of the New Jersey Plan argued for maintaining state sovereignty and preventing larger states from dominating. Then came the Great Compromise, proposed by Roger Sherman. The Great Compromise combined elements of the Virginia and New Jersey plans. It did establish a bicameral legislature. The House of Representatives was representation based on population, and the Senate with equal state representation. The Great Compromise laid the foundation for the structure of the modern United States. The Three-Fifths Compromise. Slavery was always a problem for the founding fathers. The debate centered on how enslaved individuals would be counted for representation and taxation. The Three-Fifths Compromise determined that each enslaved person will be counted as three-fifths of a free person for these purposes. Native Americans were not counted at this time. The compromise underscored the tension between the North and South over the issue of slavery. The executive branch of the United States government is where the president's office is. The compromise led to the creation of the presidency, with George Washington's leadership serving as a model. The electoral college system was established to elect the president, addressing concerns about direct democracy. This compromise balanced the need for a strong executive leadership with safeguards against potential abuse of power. The American judicial branch created the Supreme Court of the United States as the highest federal court and empowered to interpret the laws and settle disputes. The concept of judicial review, ensuring the Constitution's supremacy and protecting individual rights, became a cornerstone. The inclusion of the judicial branch added a vital check and balance to the federal government. After drafting the Constitution, had to be ratified by 9 of the 13 states to become law. The Anti-Federalists expressed concerns about the potential for federal overreach and the lack of explicit individual rights. The Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments, was added to address these concerns, facilitating the Constitution's acceptance. Only 39 delegates actually signed the Constitution. The Bill of Rights was ratified in 1791, and it guarantees essential individual liberties. These amendments include freedom of speech, religion, and the press, as well as protections against unreasonable searches and cruel and unusual punishment. The Bill of Rights addresses anti-federalist concerns and safeguards citizens' rights from potential government abuse. The legacy of our Constitution is its enduring ability to adapt and guide the nation for over 2 centuries. The Constitution's principles, such as separation of powers and federalism, continue to shape American governments. The Convention's compromises and debates set a precedent for constructive negotiation and unity in times of disagreement. The Constitutional Convention of 1787 remains a pivotal moment in American history. Delegates' visionary compromises create a balance of government and structure that endures to this day. The Constitution's principles and amendments continue to guide the nation's democratic governance. This PowerPoint presentation was created using Microsoft Copilot, ChatGPT, and some facts from Wikipedia 2024. The acorn images are for what is called history in a nutshell. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Have a good day. Goodbye now.